Hello. Well, you've already seen me do a lot of work in my studio, which is where I do audio and video transfers, and I have a lot of equipment in there. And more recently, I spent a lot of time here in the workshop doing audio and video equipment maintenance and repairs. But I also have another room. It's a storeroom full of equipment.
A shed.
It's a shed full of equipment, and several people have asked if they can have a look around there. So come on, let's have a rummage in my shed and see what equipment is hiding in there. Let's get stuck in. Okay, let's have a look in my storage unit, which is a bit of a mess, I have to admit. Come on, let's find out what's in here. Well, beginning up here, if we can, we have Beta movie. So we have some Sony camcorders. This is BMC 200. I think we've definitely got a 100 that works up here somewhere. So some original Sony Beta camcorders. What if we can dig one out? Oh yes, what do we have here? Here's one. Trying not to drop anything. Dropping things is a hazard. It's bound to happen. So there we have one of them. I'm not sure which model this particular one is. This might be the CCD model, one of the slightly later ones. Very nice. And these do work, or at least one of them works properly. But they have limited use really today. Let's just try to get all that back on that shelf. We've got bits and pieces like batteries, MP11 battery. We also have some of the original cameras. Some of these cameras, so these are cameras, not camcorders. You'd use this with an SL-C9 or similar. Some of these cameras were actually used as props in a TV program. I might let you know which one later. So lots of Beta camera equipment, kind of not totally useful, but there we have it. Let's come down to here. We've got some goodies here. Can you see these? We have some spare Technicolor 212E CVC machines. I use these primarily as spares because I have some good working machines. And here, look, we have the tuner, which allowed you to use one of these to record TV programs. But what it lacked was a timer, so you couldn't do unattended TV program recordings. What a blunder! And we have the cameras that went with them. There's yet another one of those machines. We've got quite a collection of them. So this is one of the cameras that was used with it, which seems to be stuck by its cables, but hopefully you can see that lens there, back of the camera there. I believe these were made by JVC. They had really low light performance, they were garbage, and they were one of the reasons that the CVC format didn't do very well. This has a very big lens on it, Fujinon TV zoom lens. I wonder, that lens looks like an expensive add-on to this camera. I don't believe it had that lens at first, but correct me if I'm wrong. So lots of goodies there. We've got some various scrap camcorders here, 8mm camcorders and similar. Can we see this equipment? This is a DAT machine. I used to use this one in the business. It's got an upgrade, HHB upgrade on it, 48 kilohertz sample rate. That served me well for a long time, but eventually gave up the ghost. It went all unreliable, and it was beyond me to fix it. Here's something. I wonder if you can you see this here? Possibly not. Let's see if we can pull it out slightly. Look at that. Professional VU meters. You want to see what's on the back, don't you? So power in, input and output loops, line level, presumably. Looks kind of half professionally built, half homemade, doesn't it? I might even find use for that. Doesn't weigh very much, it's extremely light. I suspect there's very little in it. This is an amplifier. Which one's this? That's the one I used to use actually, TXDS575 from Onkyo. And I repaired that thing several times. I bought it from you, repaired it for several times. The manufacturers repaired it once as well. Eventually I got fed up repairing it, and it finished up out here. Okay, let's move down a little if we can. So, some various boxes of stuff. Stuff, best described as stuff. Not sure this is all video related. Some of this might be from previous employment. Oh, I have so many goodies here. Should we have a dig? Oh my goodness, I found something really interesting. I knew it was worth coming here. That's a power supply for one of these CVC machines. Very dirty. Oh, my cameraman Scott will remember these things just about. He's just about old enough to have seen this thing in action when we had to play with it once when he was very young. A trim phone. A proper wind-up phone. Oh, lovely. And it still works. It's yellowed very badly. It still works. Had a modification done to it at one point for using a exchange. Oh, look at that old thing. Right, do you think we should clean it up and play with it one day, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants us to play with that one day. Because it does still work. You can still plug it in and use that wind-up telephone. Lovely. I found that. We're going to find so many goodies in here. I found another CVC power supply there. Here's something I built back in the probably 90s. I part built it. Somebody else built the PCB, and I built some of the stuff to go around it and fixed his PCB for him because he actually made a mistake. And what it does was, as well as some switching, it does input as, I think it does input as S-video and output as RGB. So that's the point of all that. I don't think it ever really gave me satisfactory performance. What have I found here? Fairly sure this is Duff. So data video DV AV converter. So it's a DAC. So you would input component or composite or S-video and output DV. And from what I remember, it was beyond repair, which was a shame because it might come in handy, especially for the component. I already use ADVC55 units. In fact, I've got a box of one right here. ADVC55 or indeed DV cam decks in E to E mode, and they are what I use for digitizing to firewire. But that one would have been handy for component had it worked or been fixable. Right. Let's see what else we can find. I do keep a few old tapes. I keep just some tapes for when there are occasions when somebody sends me a tape that's got damage to the shell, and it can be useful to have a spare scrap tape of most formats. So I've got DV tapes and DAT and M2 and all sorts of goodies here. So if ever I get a scrap, if I get a cassette in that can't be run as it is, I can transfer the goodies over, the tape over to the shell. What have I got in here? This might be from a previous existence. Oh, I've got quite a lot of M2 tapes actually because they came with my machines, or some of my machines. Oh look, some brand new Betamax tapes, still sealed up, nice. Gubbins in here. Oh, what's that? Refill kit for a cleaning solution of DC2000, whatever that is. And bits of old video recorder. Well, there are more interesting bits than that, so let's move on. Let's go over here. What's that, Scott?
VIC-20.
Commodore VIC-20. That's in full working order. It's connected up to this monitor, and occasionally in summer we all have a bit of fun and play some computer games on it. And that is a non-working 1541 floppy drive, but actually stored indoors because I really don't want it to be subjected to the not ideal temperature conditions out here. We have a 1540 floppy drive, so we can run floppy disks on it as well as cassette. Oh look what I found. Here's a little blast from the past. I kept just one of these back from my olden days. Any idea what that is, Scott?
I have no clue.
It looks a little bit like a light bulb, doesn't it?
Yeah, but...
It's a thermionic valve. It's a high voltage one used in the output stage of an old-fashioned tube TV from the 1960s, maybe to the early 1970s. So before transistors, there were valves. It has been said that if those valves had never been invented, that technology would have been a lot further along than it is, because we got so snarled up making valved equipment, we didn't move forward with semiconductor. Okay, so I'm not sure why there's a power supply in there. Lots more CVC machines, and some various scrap camcorders here. Oh, what's this big box here? You know, there's goodies in here. I don't even know what they are. Dare I have a look? Let me see what's in the back. Ah, this is some sort of test equipment. It's got a GPIB connector at the back. It's something like a capture device. It was used for analog inputs to capture signals for industrial applications. But its I/O cards are missing, so it's a very little use. But to that effect, you see, I do have an awful lot of GPIB cables. Can you see those? Lots and lots of GPIB cables. If anybody wants some GPIB cables, let me know, we can work out a deal. Okay, perhaps you should come over here and see what else we have. I'll grab the camera. Oh, we missed these. We missed something. My fault.
Oh no.
We missed these. These are scrap M2 machines. I have a good working M2. But if I need spares, I could raid them from here. And I also have a power supply here, and I've got one of these. One of these was featured in one of my videos as the power supply from hell, because it does current limit. Several seconds after whatever it was that caused a high current has already gone into orbit. So just due to the design of it. So. Lovely old machine, but a little bit impractical for modern equipment. So have a look at my video on that. I'll put the card up above. Right, let's investigate what else we have. I'm going to try not to block off your view of this, but in here, as well as components, I have. Can you see that we're pointing in the right place there? Help us, Scott.
I can't see the screen.
No, we're struggling with light. Tell you what, I'll.
I can see the screen now.
Right, and I'll set up a bit more light. So we have an assortment of scrap Beta machines. Actually, these are not all necessarily total scrap. One or two of these should be repairable. Look, C20 with a red case. What a lovely thing. And I've got a tuner timer for the F1. Oh, I have an F1 here. There's an F1, SL-F1. Not a machine I'm particularly keen on, because when you take it apart, the flexi cables connecting the PCBs tend to fall to pieces, and that writes it off. So it's a bit of a duffer from that point of view. And various sort of lenses and things. Oh no, they're batteries. Batteries for the F1. The NP11 batteries. I don't suppose they've got any life left in them. Interestingly though, they were interchangeable professional batteries used on Betacam. Just in case people think there is no crossover between Betamax and Betacam, there was. Right, so we have power supplies and tuner timer for the Beta equipment. We have down there some assorted garbage and power supplies and such. We have about 2 or 3 of these walkie-talkies, professional walkie-talkies. Obviously use some frequency that I'm not permitted to use. These do work as well. Quite fun they are. There we go, that's another one. And another one. So yeah, 3 of those. This is an old TV which was given to us, isn't it? So we need to find a home for that at some point. It works when it feels like it, and when it doesn't feel like it, it just flashes an LED. And it's because I think the backlights are starting to fail, so sometimes it won't start up. So it's probably a dead loss. Thank you, Sony. I have some old computer junk there, which we're probably not going to really look at, so we'll move on to some more interesting things. Oh, what's that? DV cam, DSR 11. I think this one has a faulty mode switch, if I'm not wrong, so it works intermittently. Maybe I'll fix it one day. Oh, and a box full of floppy disks. Well, yes, I have still some of those floppy drives in there, brand new, old stock. Oh, what's this? I worked temporarily for a company called Vantel and Golterman, or WG Instruments, and this is one of the things I picked up at an auction when they were clearing out their old site. Shame the displays, the glass is broken on that meter. Oh dear, I won't touch it, it's going to get worse. So yeah, that's a level meter, I think. I'll fish that broken glass out before it makes it any worse. So yes, I have no value today, but a little interesting curiosity, I suppose. Some speakers, including ones I built with my own fair hands when I was a teenager. So I just can't bring myself to throw them away. Right. Can we just point to that, because I can't reach it easily. It's a tuner timer for, I think it's the SL-8000 Beta video recorder, portable. And I had the video recorder, I had one and I repaired it and I sold it, but the lady who bought it didn't want the tuner timer. So there it sits. If anybody wants a tuner timer, model TT3000 UB, please take it off my hands. Unfortunately, we're a bit short of space here, and this has become a lot less tidy and organised than it originally was when I put this stuff in. There's a lot of 1500 and 1700 equipment here, and I don't suppose you can see at the bottom lots more Beta equipment. So we have a bit of a collection there of F30s, F25s I think, F1s and tuner timers. We've got various scrap 1500s, 1502s, 1700s. I've got more of these in the upstairs workshop. You might have seen them in the background of my YouTube videos. And lots of Beta, Sanyo Beta. So, I mean, there's a lot more than you can see here. They all go back on the shelves. So VTC 5000, 5150. Let's see if we have any others in the background. Yeah, it's lots more of the same sort of thing. And I have repaired one of these in one of my YouTube videos, but I kind of got more than I need. And at the top there, look, that's a Beta rewinder. Good heavens, that one. And then also lots of S-VHS typically. So I've got lots of scrap S-VHS machines, which really are beyond repair. Piles of VHS. We're not interested in VHS here, are we? And S-VHS and some other bits and bobs such as CD players and similar there. More Sanyo Beta. Oh, what a shame. Look at that one. VTC M40 Beta Hi-Fi. I think I have several of those actually. Lovely machine, but it was one of the very few Sanyo Beta models that suffered from excessive head wear. And we have, is that an NX100 there? I've got a good one of those as well. So, some various scrap Sanyo Beta and similar, and some scrap DVD recorders as well. So let's see what other goodies we have. Right, so various 8mm here. I have a good working example of that machine, I think, in my collection. That's the, is it the EVS 1000? Yes, I have a good working one of those, and it's quite rare to have a working one. It's a pretty unreliable machine. Toshiba DVD recorder, that was very good in its day, but eventually gave it a ghost. And that's a little 8mm deck, fairly pointless I think. And we have some EVS 9000 scrappers there, which you will have seen in one of my videos previously where I had to start raiding parts. What else do we have down here? Let's get this in shot. C9, I have I think 3 of these in good working order, and from what I remember, this one is actually not beyond repair. At least one of these C9s is within the realms of repairable. And do you remember Tosh, the video recorder that didn't want to be fixed, and we had to raid some spares? Well, this was our scrapper here. Actually, somebody might want to buy that off me for spares, which is ideal, really, because it'd be nice to be out of here. So down here we have a so-called professional S-VHS Panasonic AG7500. I forget what the problem is with that one. And a 7130. Then we have some scrap pneumatics. These really aren't much use to anybody. What's this? A 5630. Oh, that was multi-standard. That machine I did use for some time, I think, before it became unrepairable. And what do we have here? I can't see the model number of that one, but it's nothing special. Some more pneumatics along here, I think, yes. A 5030. Is that a multi-standard one as well? Yeah, multi-standard. Another multi-standard 5030. Another multi-standard 5030. I've got too many of those. 5040. That's another multi-standard. And another multi-standard 5040. I have far too many of those, don't I? This PCM 100, I think it features in one of my videos as a prop, really. I was sold a pup. I was told it was compatible with the PCM 1600 format tapes, and it's not. So, and the 1630, I should say, and the 1630 and 1610 models do play back tapes recorded on this, so that is of no use to me whatsoever. If somebody would like to take it off my hands, please do, because I'm never going to use it. Betacam BVW22P, that's scrap, but I've got one that's not scrap, and that'll feature in one of my videos in due course, and I think that one is 1200p, UVW 1200p. Right, ignoring a whole bunch of old cables, what's this? This is almost certainly going to be featured on a video soon. Look at this. Wow. This is a Fluke 8375A digital multimeter. And what's really gorgeous about this is Nixie tube display. Now, from what I understand, it's completely dead, but we really, really want to play with this thing, don't we? So even though it's not AV related as such, it's a lovely piece of kit. So we'll add that to the list of things to do in 2020.
Okay.
What's this monster? It says here, remove watch before use. I've got this set up to foot pedal, which is off shot. And what you do, you put your videotape on here that you never want anyone to ever watch again, and then you move it along to the end. And if you want to be really thorough about it, put it both ways up. That tape is now well and truly demagnetized, and you could either use it again or at least dispose of it knowing that it will never be viewed again. So what is it, Scott? Degausser.
I can't pronounce that.
And it's basically a humongous magnet and a motorized conveyor belt, and it raises the tape with a very large 50 Hz AC waveform. But it works really very well with normal oxide formula tapes like that. It's nowhere near as effective with Video 8, Hi 8, Mini DV, DAT, or anything else metal based like Betacam and such. So it has its uses, but it's not a complete solution for raising tapes. Look what I found. Instruction book for important instructions how to use your BSB. Oh wow, this is my original instruction book from when I had BSB back in about 1990. Look at that. Ah, lovely. Tatung, yes. That's fine. And what else have we found, Scott? An old electronics kit, badly faded. And what was really good about this one was you could plug components in, you see, rather than just have to wire up components like you do on most modern kits. You plugged components in, and that made all the difference, because it meant that a certain 11-year-old, when he received this, could go to the local dump, find old scrap TVs, pull components out and plug them into here until he got caught by the scrapyard, the local dump people, and thrown off site. So if you wonder why I'm an electronics nut, it's because electronics was for me a natural progression from Lego, because of this electronics kit that you could plug components into. And the company went bust, and it was such a shame, because they made the best electronics kit. Finally finishing off with some more, we have, I think it is Betacam or U-matic? Betacam. So UVW1200Ps and similar. Not sure why they all became scrap, but they are. And I think that's BVW22P. And this is an old 8-track recorder player, which was unfortunately built in such a way that I couldn't take it to pieces to service it. That's a shame. And an old Rogers Ravensbrook amplifier. Good heavens, that's going back to the early 70s. So I think that more or less is our collection. Well, I hope you've enjoyed rummaging in my shed with me. If there's anything in there of particular interest you'd like to see me work on, just ask in the comments below and I'll see if I can dig it out. So in the meantime, I'd just like to wish you all a Happy New Year for 2020.
Happy New Year!
And please remember to like, share and especially subscribe, and I'll do more content on audio and video technology in the near future. Bye for now.